Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So as Terence Crawford prepares for his fight against Canelo Alvarez at 168, he is sparring with one of the hardest punchers in the weight class, which is Lester Martinez. He's 19-0 with 16 knockouts. This is just one of Crawford's sparring partners. Now, on a side note, I personally still think that Madrimov would have also been a good sparring partner. Madrimov, with his amateur experience, he could switch his style up. And remember, Madrimov was the one that helped Bivol prepare for the Canelo Alvarez fight. But without a doubt, Lester Martinez is still probably the best pick. Once again, with his power, with his style, he has a very similar style to Canelo Alvarez. The only difference is he's a little bit taller than Canelo. He's 5'11", and Canelo is around 5'8". He's about the same height as Crawford. But then again, that's the height they have him on the internet. He might be shorter than that. But Lester, he's been getting a lot of vicious knockouts. His highlights have been all over the internet. Fans have been praising him as the next star at 168. A lot of fans believe that he's even better than Canelo. I don't know about that, at least not yet, but the one thing I do know is he has a lot of power, and it's not just reckless power. He has ring intelligence, he has speed, and what I think is really interesting is he chose to work with Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian McIntyre, Bomac. Now, Lester Martinez, he's Guatemalan, and a lot of Latino fighters, especially with an aggressive style like this, a lot of them, they would try to hire maybe someone like a Eddie Reynoso or even a Robert Garcia. The fact that he chose to work with Bomac instead, that means he wants to learn how to do that Michael Jordan shit. Since he knows that Terence Crawford is the Michael Jordan of the sport today, the best fighter in the world, Lester, he obviously felt it was only common sense to be trained by the person who's training the best fighter in the world. It's no different than when Oscar De La Hoya, he chose to work with Floyd Mayweather Sr. He's seen everything that Floyd Mayweather was doing, and he wanted to learn how to do a lot of that stuff. And if you guys notice, as soon as Oscar De La Hoya started to work with Floyd Sr., one of the first things Oscar tried to do in the ring is the shoulder roll. He wasn't too successful at it, but he tried it. I remember he kept trying it against Fernando Vargas, and man, Fernando was nailing his ass with right hands, clean. But Oscar, he stayed with Floyd Mayweather Sr. pretty much for the rest of his career, outside of him fighting against Floyd Mayweather Jr., of course. So with that all being surmised, now I want to get back to this photo. The main thing I wanted to talk about in this video. When you look at this photo right here, what is the first thing you guys notice? Well, the first thing I notice is Lester Martinez. He is the only one wearing the headgear with extra protection, with the nose guard. And this says more about Terence Crawford than it does Martinez. Because a lot of people would think, well, Terence Crawford is the small guy, right? He's in there sparring with a super middleweight, not just a super middleweight, but one of the most talented super middleweight prospects in the world right now, and one of the hardest punchers in that weight class. And yet it's Terence Crawford that's wearing the regular headgear and not the much bigger, stronger Lester Martinez. This gives you an idea of the level of confidence that Terence Crawford has, especially when it comes to his defense. Without even watching his sparring, I'm not saying that Lester is not holding his own, but you could tell that Crawford, he is doing very, very well in sparring. But at the same time, I'm going to keep saying this. Sparring is different than an actual real fight. There is no headgear. The gloves are much smaller, and that changes the entire dynamic. I mean, it's already impressive that Terence Crawford, once again, the naturally smaller guy, is using regular headgear, while the bigger puncher is using headgear with extra protection. But I think just for the preparation of this massive jump in weight for Terence Crawford, he should take it a step further. I think every once in a while, he should spar with no headgear and 10-ounce gloves. Not 10 rounds or anything like that, maybe just 2 or 3 rounds, just to get even more acclimated to how it's going to feel on fight night. Okay, so while Crawford is sparring with Lester Martinez, reports are Canelo Alvarez, he's sparring with silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist, Marco Verde. And by the way, that headgear I pointed out that Lester Martinez wears, that's the exact same headgear that Canelo Alvarez wears when he spars as well. Wearing that headgear, it implies that you're getting hit with a lot of straight punches in sparring, a lot of jabs, a lot of straights perhaps. And it is a good thing that they created this headgear, because there were a lot of fighters that were actually getting their nose broke in training camp. I remember Shane Mosley, he broke Gennaro Hernandez's nose in sparring. So anyway, this is one of Canelo Alvarez's sparring partners, Marco Verde. He is 1-0 as a professional fighter. His main claim to fame is beating American Amari Jones in the Olympics. He also beat India's standout prospect Nishant Dev. But it's way too premature to tell how good he's going to be as a pro, because the amateurs and the pros are two entirely different sports. So with that being said, with Marco Verde being a really good amateur fighter, I don't know if he's the best sparring partner to prepare Canelo Alvarez for a Terence Crawford, because he doesn't have the type of rhythm or athleticism that a Terence Crawford would have. But I'm assuming there are other sparring partners that Canelo Alvarez has that may be a little bit more slicker, more closer to a Terence Crawford style. Either way, I would say it's a little bit harder getting someone to match Crawford's style than getting someone to match Canelo's style. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Just want to let you guys know, I was just looking at some of my analytics, and I want to really thank you guys for sharing my videos, for liking my videos, and supporting my Cash App. That support, it goes a long way, and it helps me pump out more videos. So a big thanks to all you guys for your support. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com. Like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.